Welcome to the When in Robes podcast. This is the only show where you don't need clothes to travel the world. I'm Carly Konsker, your host and personal travel guide. Let's do the damn thing. I recorded the episode earlier. I had an amazing guest and I completely blanked on so many amazing things I did in Paris that I wanted to tell you guys about, especially about this hotel that I wanted to record a little bit something extra to add to this episode. So let me just start with this hotel has the most amazing location. It's absolutely beautiful. My room is amazing, especially for Paris where things are like a shoebox here. I'm not going to lie, like things can be really tiny, but my room's amazing. And this hotel is in walking distance to some great stores. And it's also walking distance to the restaurant Ferdy that I went to, in addition to a lot of great stores and the opera and Hotel Cost, which is very famous for dinner, drinks. Highly recommend. They only take reservations day of, so call first thing in the morning on the day that you want to go. Also, I was really surprised to find out I was able to just walk in and get a COVID test for my flight back home, and it was really easy. There were some people waiting as well, but got my results fairly quickly emailed to me, and I was ready to go. I also wanted to discuss some shopping. Champs-Élysées, I'm so sorry if I butchered that. Champs-Élysées is a very famous shopping street in Paris. It has some of the best high-end luxury shopping, great stores, a lot of hotels that surround it, and definitely check it out. It's very famous in Paris, and it's a beautiful street to walk up and down and spend an afternoon. So some things about this hotel that I forgot to mention is this hotel actually does have a spa. You can get services in your room or in the spa. You just have to book them in advance. They also have a gym where you have to schedule the time because of COVID. So obviously things are restricted. It's a really tiny gym. So definitely schedule time in advance if you would like to work out while on vacation in Paris. They also have a pool, which is beautiful. It has a water feature, waterfall-esque type thing. Really cool. Schedule a time. I believe you have to schedule a time for that too because of COVID, but rules are constantly changing. So just check with the hotel. The concierge here has been amazing. They do weirdly start at like 3:00, which is bizarre. So make sure that you email them in advance if you want help getting reservations. But this hotel has been incredible. I honestly would stay here again. And it's really hard to find affordable hotels that aren't completely overpriced, but still luxury and boutique-y and cool. So this is definitely a hotel I recommend. I just wouldn't eat here. I also forgot to mention that if you're coming to Paris, obviously see the Eiffel Tower during the day, but also at night it lights up and glitters and it's beautiful. So if you are passing the Eiffel Tower or want to see an amazing sight, definitely stop by it. I believe it sparkles every hour on the hour. And I'm pretty sure I spoke about that with Tiffany when she was on the podcast in season 1, but definitely check it out. So as I've mentioned, if you're going to the Louvre or another museum, it could take a lot of time. If you haven't been before, definitely check it out. Make time for it. But if you have gone, another option is Atelier de Lumière. I probably butchered that, but I promise you will be able to find it. Just Google Lumiere, Lumiere. This museum is really amazing. It is a fully immersive experience with the art on the walls, on the floor. There were 2 artists showing when I went, and both were really unique and different than each other. So it was a great morning. I went by myself and sat down, walked around, stood up, looked at different angles, different views, and it was a really cool experience. And I think it's a great option if you want to go see art and you want to go to a museum, but you don't really have the time to go to the Louvre or to another museum in Paris. It's definitely a good option to get to see some great art. So I highly recommend it. I also want to give a really special shout out to Gilles. He works at Monsieur Bleu. I apologize if I butchered that, but he was so sweet to me. I basically missed the river cruise down the Seine with my friends, and I had to find and get a drink somewhere. So it's at Palais de Tokyo, I think. I'm sorry again if I butchered that. But he was so kind. You obviously need a reservation. It's a very popular restaurant. They don't really have a huge bar area. It's just people waiting for their tables. But I begged him. I was there alone. He was so sweet. And he allowed me to grab a drink by the bar and just stand there and wait for my friends. And he ended up actually giving me these vodka passion fruit shots that we did together. He was so kind and generous. And I honestly really appreciate the hospitality, especially in a city where I don't speak the language and fairly new to Paris on my own. I've always come with another person, but this was really my first outing solo. And he really took me in, and it was so nice, and he was so hospitable. So I really appreciate the hour that I spent with him at Monsieur Bleu. I would also like to give a shout out to every single person that was willing to take photos of me. Part of my bargain of coming here solo was me offering couples or friends to take photos of the two of them together if they would take a few photos of me. And it honestly worked out. But it's always nerve-wracking going up to people, especially during COVID. You just don't really know how people are going to react. But so far, everyone's been really appreciative and really kind. And honestly, it's all worked out. So let's get into this episode. That was a little preview of what's to come. So I just wanted to add in a little bit extra because this is Paris and it is super important to me that you get all the details. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. And here is my interview with Diana. Hello. Welcome back to When in Robes. I'm Carly Konsker, and I have a really special guest today. I am here with Diana Perilla. Right?
It's
Wrong?
Good. It's good.
I get nervous. I get so nervous because I don't want to butcher someone's name. So I get very nervous, but Diana Perilla. And she is a photographer here in Paris. And I'm so excited to have you. Thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm also so excited. I love the robe things. I love it.
We're in our robes.
I'm so happy to be here with you today.
Oh, thank you. So I'm here in Paris, France, staying at Roch Hotel and Spa. It is a beautiful hotel. I asked downstairs how to pronounce the hotel name because some people are saying La Roche, some people are saying La Roch, some people are saying La Roch. So I had no idea, but I was like, I need to get it right. So we're staying at this amazing hotel. It's like a boutique-y hotel, and we are in the robes. It's a soft robe.
They're so soft.
Not the softest robe I've ever had.
Well, no.
Definitely not. But it's like a plush white robe. It's definitely roomy. And there's not really anything special about them. The slippers are really cute. I forgot to give you a pair, but they're really cute. And they have the name of the hotel, and they have turquoise trim. Super cute, but the robe is like nothing to really write home about.
No, they're not branded.
Right, they're not branded. It's softer on the outside, to be honest, than it is on the inside.
Yes, it is.
Which is bizarre.
Well, I think this works more as a towel.
Yeah, probably. I think you're right. But anyway, so I am in a suite here. It's not the most expensive suite, but it's not the lowest room. I believe I got upgraded to this. It has a king bed. It has the most stunning bathroom with a tub and a shower combination. It felt like I was walking into a spa when I was walking into the bathroom here. All I want to do is take a bath in this tub. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I've loved my stay here. I will say the negative of staying here is that there really isn't like a huge room service menu. But when you're coming to Paris, you want to try all the restaurants anyway. So it's not that bad to not have a large selection at your hotel.
Yes. I honestly, personally, I think I have absolutely never ordered room service. No, I prefer to go out and explore the city. Restaurants. And there's one thing that I want to add about this hotel. It's very well located.
Oh, the best.
So you can find everything around. Like, I don't know how much is 1 mile. But I think you don't have to walk a lot to find a lot of restaurants here.
Totally. And you're really close to the Louvre. Yes. And I was able to walk around all day yesterday and the day before, and there's a lot of restaurants, a lot of stores, a lot of shopping.
Landmarks.
Totally. If you want to get your Instagram photos, You'll get them around this hotel. So it's definitely a really good location. And the price is pretty good for Paris because I feel like when people come to Paris, they never know where to stay. You either have the super expensive, like over $1,000 a night, crazy hotels. Then you have on the other end of it, like a shoebox that you could stay in. And this is kind of in the middle. Like it's definitely a very nice hotel. I would say I highly recommend staying here. You may spend a little more than you want, but it's not the outrageous, like Plaza Athénée, George Singh.
For what you get, I think it's good.
Yeah, for sure. And the room's really cute. It's really like great decorations, a lot of room. And it's not like one of those tiny boxes that sometimes you show up in when you book a hotel in Paris. Yes. It just happens. It just happens. But let's get into it. Okay. I want to know a little bit about you, how you got into photography, what sparked your love for travel.
Well, first of all, I don't know if we said this already. I'm Colombian.
I did not say that, but she is Colombian.
So I'm not from here. I've been living in Paris for almost 7 years. And, well, I'm a designer. So that's what I studied back in Colombia. And then I came to Barcelona for a couple masters that I did that I never worked on that after that because I came to Paris.
Didn't pursue that part.
Yes.
But you have a background, so.
Yeah, I have a background in photography because I saw a few classes in college, in university. And then when I came here, I came for love.
Which we love that, yes.
Yes, and I think we'll
definitely get into
a little
it.
bit.
Oh,
exactly.
For sure.
So when I got here, I didn't have a job. I was learning French. That was the main thing I came to first was learning French. So I had a lot of free time, and I decided to just go out and start walking the city and taking photos. I had just opened my Instagram, and at the time I used it like as everyone does, like just to post a few photos to show my family and friends back in Colombia. And one thing led to another, and I started being more interested in editing, in like growing on Instagram and doing all those things. And that was how everything happened, basically.
I love it. Okay, so let's talk about you came here for love.
Yes.
You came here for love. Tell us about how you decided to make that leap in that relationship, how you guys met. We're talking about her husband. She came here for him. He was coming to Paris, right?
Yes. Well, so we started dating about 12 years ago back in Colombia. He's also Colombian.
How did you meet?
We met how most of people used to meet before dating apps, which was in a bar or
I love it.
In a dancing place.
How everyone would want to meet their husband.
Yeah, just in a party.
Exactly.
But the thing is, well, we always the other way we meet people back in Colombia is mostly we don't do these things we see sometimes in the movies and the series. It's just like we just go to a bar and wait for someone to invite us for a drink. No, we never do that ever. It's always a friend of a friend. So he was a friend of a friend. Yes. Yeah. They always come with recommendations. And yeah, so we met at our friend, my best friend's birthday. So he was a friend of a friend. And he came here, but we didn't start dating right away. We were friends for a while. And then once he invited me to go out. And he was already planning to come here to study. He was preparing for a master. So he was very honest about it. He told me I like you. I would like to date you.
Good. But at least leaving. He was upfront about it.
Yeah, but I'm leaving in a few months. And I'm not planning to have something long term. Okay. So if you're okay with that. And I was like, of course, because I really liked him. So I was like, sure.
That's what you think right now. Like you think that it's not going to be long term, but just wait.
Exactly. So that's how it started. So for us, it was like something that was going to be for a few months. And by the time he was taking the plane, it's over. And it wasn't.
We love that.
I came here.
How was the transition coming here, not knowing the language? Was it difficult to find your way around, to try to
not really, out? Because for the 2 years that I was living in Barcelona, I was coming every 2 months.
Oh, so you were
already yes. I didn't speak French, but I could understand a little bit. I could understand the menu and I could say a few words.
That's better than me.
But
it's much better than me.
And I knew the city already.
Right. in Paris specifically, what are some of your favorite places to snap photos of or to photograph? What's something like special that people wouldn't necessarily know about that is something that you love?
Well, I love, there's a few little streets, just streets. There's no landmark, no absolutely anything, but it's street in Paris that they're beautiful. So I always try to propose, like, I know everyone who comes here wants to take a photo with the Eiffel Tower. Mm-hmm. So I always propose, okay, so, but let's not do Trocadero because Trocadero is full of people and you have to be there at 6 a.m.
unless you want to not in the background.
Exactly. So I always try to propose different angles of the Eiffel Tower and then move to little streets just to discover like another part of the city.
Do you have a favorite street in particular?
A favorite street? Okay, the name, it's Rue de Vierre. It's close to Notre Dame.
Okay.
And it's for me, it's like my favorite street.
It's beautiful.
So beautiful. It's just like a typical Parisian street, but what I think, my favorite streets always have to have like a curve, you know? Because then when you take the photo and you do a little zoom, it's gonna bring everything to you, like the compression effect. So it's gonna look better than just a straight street.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, and on the background you can see a little bit of the Pantheon.
Oh,
so it's
wow.
Yeah, I really like that one.
It's really special. What are some like photography tips you can give people like when they're traveling? Like, is there something that like you can share since you are an expert? Maybe like 2 or 3 tips that like someone can do to elevate their photos.
Well, I don't consider myself an expert.
I consider you an expert.
But, okay, so the first one and this one always comes screaming back to me because this is something my ex-boss used to say, it's mind the background. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, when you're traveling, you want to take a selfie, you want to take a photo of you, and sometimes you forget about what's surrounding you. So you go to a beautiful place and you take a photo of you and just a little tiny bit of the place. So what I recommend people always, it's like try to, of course, get you in the photo. Just like I think those photos of influencers that get that are so beautiful and get so many likes and everything, it's because it's like they're there enjoying the place, but you can see the whole thing.
Yeah, it's not just them.
It's not just them. So that's one thing, mind the background.
I love it.
What else? Okay, so use a tripod. If you can use a tripod.
A tripod with a little remote.
Yes, or you can set your camera and timer and with interval. That's what we did with my husband for our last holidays. Mm-hmm. It's gonna save you a lot of discussions with your better halves, especially if they are not into photography.
Right.
So it's way easier. You just set the tripod and the other person, if they don't want to be in the photo, they're just gonna do tick tick tick, but at least you know the photo is gonna be good because you set it up.
That is honestly great advice because I was just traveling with my cousin and bless her, she literally took so many photos of me, and then by the time we got to Santorini, I was like, I'm just gonna use a tripod. Like, she did great, but I was like, I can't ask her for more photos. Like, I already asked her for so many. I was like, I'll use my tripod. And it turned out great. It turned out amazing. And she was like, can I use your tripod?
Yeah, and so this is photography and relationship advice.
Exactly. Totally. Both. Of all the places you've traveled to, do you have a favorite place that you've been or like a top 3?
A top 3, okay.
Because I know it's hard to pick one.
Yes.
For sure.
But I would say, well, I love Italy.
Me too.
Like everything I've been to Venice, I've been to Florence, Cinque Terre, Rome is in my list, like from all Italy. I think the one I like the least is Rome, but I found it because I found it so messy. Like everything architecture wise, it was beautiful, but so messy, so hot. I was with my parents and it was like 40 degrees, so I was dying. I didn't like it. I should go again and give it another chance.
Maybe when it's not so hot.
Yes, exactly. But a country that I loved, we went there 2 years ago, I think, 2019, if I'm not, was Croatia.
Oh, I've never been, but it's so beautiful. Like, everyone that goes loves it.
Absolutely amazing. We did the whole road trip from Zagreb to Dubrovnik, so went to north to south and stopped in a lot of little cities. They're all beautiful. And my favorite part, and this I say as a Latina person, was the temperature of the water.
Was it warm?
Yes. Because it's something I hate.
To be freezing. You expect it to be freezing.
Because that's what I've known. In Barcelona, it was always cold. Even in late August, it was always freezing because it's open. Like, it's the Mediterranean, but it's open water. Same in the south of France. It's always freezing. And here in Croatia, I remember my husband jumped into the water, and he always tells me, like, come, it's warm, you're gonna like it, just jump, don't think about it. And I never believe him because he always does that to me and tricks me into jumping in the water, and then it's super cold.
Once you're in, like, it's fine.
And this time it was true. It was like, oh my God, yes.
So finally did it live.
So that one, yes. So that one I think should be my number one in the top 3. And then Italy, and then Greece, because Greece is just simply beautiful. Everything about Greece is beautiful. The food is delicious. It's so cheap. And the people is so nice.
So nice.
So it's just...
Do you have a favorite island in Greece?
Well, I really, really loved what I saw in Crete.
So Crete, I didn't get to this trip, but I hear it's amazing. But I hear you need a lot of time for Crete.
Crete is huge.
Yeah.
We stayed for 5 days. We did only like a little bit of the northwest of the island. It was amazing. Oh. Yes, it was beautiful.
I'm so jealous.
I'm actually posting about it. Okay, technically, I'm in Crete according to my Instagram.
According to my Instagram, I'm still in Mykonos, so it's fine.
Exactly.
It's fine. It lasts beautiful. A lot longer
Santorini, I have mixed feelings about Santorini. I really loved it. And now that I'm looking back at my videos and photos, and when I was working on the photos and posting the videos, last week I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Oh, I love Santorini. Oh yeah, I love Santorini. But when I was there, I also was a little bit overwhelmed by the fact that I found Ia was too... like a Disney, you know?
Okay,
so it was like very...
like tchotchke
like very built, you know, like it was not... I thought it was going to be more typical Greek.
Okay.
And I found like other... Besides the churches, it was very like... It was built to be beautiful, to bring people.
Yeah. Like, it's basically hotel on top of hotel
exactly,
on top of hotel.
And like, yeah. But it's still beautiful. I mean...
Totally.
And the other thing is that I don't like... lots of crowd, like people.
Okay.
So we
maybe
were lucky.
Greece was not the best place to go.
Well, we were lucky because we went there in end of June.
Okay.
So people was just arriving when we were leaving Santorini, which was good, which is why I also enjoyed Santorini because it was not that crowded. But yeah, it was like when it gets so crowded, it's like, oh, no, let's go.
So we are in Paris.
Yes.
What are some of like your favorite things to do here?
Walk around Paris, it's amazing. Especially, I love to do it by the Seine. And beautiful. Both sides are how you say, like, to walk. There are no cars and anything, so you can walk by the Seine. A very touristy thing to do that I really recommend is take the boat.
Okay, so I was supposed to do that. I was supposed to do the boat on Friday, meeting my friend and her boyfriend. And I had flown in. I was stuck in a little traffic. I rushed to get ready. And I had gotten like a taxi, but the taxi left and we were waiting on another taxi because I was like 2 minutes late to go downstairs. And I missed the river cruise. But they loved it. And it's like an hour. You could do like either dinner or you could do like an hour sunset cruise down the Seine. And I hear it's beautiful. And I'm dying to do it.
I don't recommend the dinner. Right. I did that once. I was invited to one. And the thing is, you... concentrate on dining and rather than see looking, anything. Yeah. I recommend mostly the one it's 1 hour around the river, and especially because they tell you a lot of things about all the places, and you get to see a lot of stuff. You get to see the Eiffel Tower, of course. You get to see Notre Dame on the islands. You get to see the Louvre from one side, Musée d'Orsay on the other side. You get to see a lot of things. That's one thing that
especially
if
you don't have a lot of time. Like if you don't have a lot of time in Paris.
That and the bus. I've never done the bus anywhere, but if you don't have a lot of time, I think it's a good thing.
It's a good way to see a lot of sites in a short amount of time.
Exactly.
Of all the hotels you've stayed at, I know you do partnerships with a lot of them, but do you have like a favorite hotel of all time that you want to go back to like every single day?
Oh my God. there's not just one. I'm gonna say like the one of the first ones that I did was the one in Athens. It's Electro Metropolis, for the view, because they have the view of the Acropolis, which is amazing.
God, stunning.
Also the view in Santorini. We stayed in one in Fira that you can also find on my Instagram, because I've been posting about it. It had a bathtub, so in the whole view of the island, like
stunning.
The dreamy view. That one also was amazing. But the best one so far is the last one that I stayed in Crete. It's called Domus Renier, and it's a small boutique hotel also, with like 9 rooms. And what made it, yes, it used to be a house of like a wealthy family from Venice, something like that. It's got huge, so that's what I love. It's like this huge history, and we got to meet the owner, and the way she talked to us about like how her dream was to get that building and make it look again like the way it looked when she was
like
small and restored and everything. I was like, oh my God, it's amazing.
That makes you fall in love with a place when you find out like,
absolutely,
it's like the passion behind it.
It was exactly that. And we arrived, and she invited us to have some drinks because it's got a restaurant on the first floor, or 0. And and she started talking about this, and I was like, oh my God, I love it already. And it was night. It was super dark. I only
you hadn't seen it
went up, left the suitcases in the room, and came down to meet her. And I was already like, oh my God, I don't want to leave.
Oh my God.
And it's also super well located. So yeah, I think that one I would like to go back.
That makes it really special. Like when somebody has such a history and the hotel has such a history, it makes it really unique and definitely memorable, for sure. Is there a place that is on your bucket list? Like, where do you want to go to next?
Well, this one is an easy one because I just told my husband last week, let's start preparing for next year's summer. So I want to go to the Maldives.
Oh, stunning. Absolutely stunning.
So that's a bucket.
I'm waiting to go there like with a significant other. Like,
yes.
Once I find my husband, like we can go together. I can't do that with a friend or alone. Like that's
I think that's right. Something that's actually my honeymoon destination dream.
Yeah.
But we didn't have a honeymoon.
Well, it could be.
So this one's good. Yeah. So I told him like, okay, so let's start preparing from now. We can start thinking of the dates, buy the tickets in very, very, very long advance, because we always live like 1 month, and 1 month sometimes is not enough. And so we can have like a week of
pure relaxation.
Dream.
It will be amazing.
Exactly.
That sounds incredible.
That's the goal.
I think that's on everyone's bucket list, to be honest.
I think so, yes.
Yeah. Have you had any crazy travel disaster stories?
I do have one that happened last year, and we got a loan of a car. I'm not gonna say the brand, because they're gonna track me down and charge me for it.
We won't mention the company.
But yeah, I got a car loan last year. So we took it for 2 weeks and went to the south of France, and just they gave us the full tank. And then arriving to Lyon, we said like, okay, we need to put more gas. And my husband asked me like, okay, so let's look in the car for what's the type of gas it needs. And I looked, and it said diesel, and I was like, okay, so let's put diesel. Then we went the next day, and it turns out it wasn't diesel. And he managed to put like 10 liters or gallons, no, liters of diesel into the car.
Did it work?
No. The thing is, it had a little bit of regular gas on it, so we could move it. So we moved it from the station to the parking, because we're gonna leave it there for a couple days while we were visiting. And then we realized that, so we started freaking out, calling every station to get it fixed. We called a friend that lives there. He would try to help us, like with the tube to get it out.
Check it out.
We couldn't do it because apparently now there's like a security thing that doesn't do that. So we have to find a place, stay 1 more day in Lyon, and pay for the fixing, so they could take everything from the...
Did you try calling the company?
Of course not.
Oh, wait. My first reaction
No.
the company.
Actually, my last reaction was that one, because it's
your car said diesel. Like, I put diesel in and now it's not working.
No, because the thing is, the card that was inside the compartment said diesel, but then in the book, it explained that you have to look in the little lid of the gas compartment, and it says what it is.
No.
And we didn't do that. We're such materials of cars.
I blame the car company.
Yeah, me too. But the thing is, I was afraid that they were gonna tell us to bring the car back
and pay for it. The damage.
Exactly.
So what did you do?
So we paid to get it fixed in Lyon.
Yeah.
And then we just went for the rest of the trip. Yeah, because it was the beginning of the trip.
Anything.
We never mentioned that to all our friends, because that was the story of the trip. It's like, oh, so this is what happens, because we arrived one day later to Marseille to a friend's house. So he was like, but what happened? So we told the story. Everyone was laughing. Of course, at first we were freaking out. Then we were laughing about it. Now we still laugh about it.
Let's get into robing after dark. Before we do this, I just want to briefly mention in robe dining, because this hotel doesn't really have a large menu. I believe I mentioned this before. It doesn't really have a large room service menu. So we're not going to be rating anything per se here today. I did have their cheese board, charcuterie board, whatever it was, really late Friday night after going out and drinking with some friends. It was underwhelming, to say the least. It was 3 small pieces of cheese and like 5 huge pieces of bread. I mean, the ratio is very uneven. It's not even on the scale. Like, it doesn't compare to anything. The food in France is amazing. So I don't want to judge this hotel's room service with the amazing food I've had in France. So we're going to kind of skip over in-robe dining. I did have breakfast here this morning. They had a great chocolate croissant. They had, I had eggs and avocado and toast, and it was perfectly fine. But if you're here, you probably want to go to somewhere. If you're going to have breakfast or wait and just have an amazing lunch and dinner, get something on the go. But I don't recommend necessarily eating at this hotel. I recommend going out and exploring France. So let's get into robing after dark. It's called Robing After Dark because we talk about the nightlife in the city we're in. We'll also talk about some of our favorite restaurants or activities to do at night, whether it's a fun bar, I don't know, like a comedy show or whatever it may be, or a pretty view, a pretty sunset view. It could be anything that you want to discuss.
Let's start with food. I don't know. Well, I do know actually a good French. It's called Cassette, Café Cassette. It's really, really good. I recently, well, I haven't been there in a while, but I used to, when I was working, I used to work with them, and the food is really, really good. I recommend the soupe à l'oignon, the onion soup. Oh. It's really good. And I especially love, like, one of my favorite French dishes is the one with the cheese and the bread and everything inside. It's melting. Like, you bring the spoon like this with the cheese.
If the cheese isn't dripping, it's not right.
Exactly. It's not hot enough. That's a good French one. But you can find, like, French food you can find everywhere, and it's not going to be bad. If you go to any place called Brasserie, you can find good French food. Another French place, which is also cheap, which we like that when we're traveling.
We like good food and we like cheap.
And exactly. There's this type of restaurants here in France that are called bouillon. It's like Bouillon. So they're always like good home food and cheap. And you can find, there's my favorite, it's called Bouillon, Petit Pharamond, I think. It's something like, it's Pharamond, but I don't remember. It has the word bouillon and Pharamond in the name.
We'll find
and
it.
It's located next to the big shopping center Les Halles, which is written Les Halles with double L, H-double-L-S. It's very close to it, so you can find it easy. I can give you the name then.
Perfect.
Show you on Google Maps. But there's also Bouillon Pigalle. There's also Bouillon Chartier, which is the most famous one, but honestly, a little
overrated or overpriced?
Yes, no, overrated. They're all cheap.
What do you like to get there?
I always get the chicken with the mashed potatoes, which is also good, and with the champignon. There's also, my husband always gets this one that's meat with prepared with a sauce of wine, red wine. It's also like super French. Ooh. My dad came and he tasted the escargot, and he liked them. Yes. I haven't. I've been here for 7 years.
You don't eat escargot?
And I haven't. No, I haven't. But he did, and he liked them.
Okay. I've tried escargot once in my life. I like... I mean, I'm pretty picky. I'm pretty picky, but I usually like garlicky, buttery things. What could be bad? It was not for me. Maybe I should try it in Paris because I tried it in
I don't know
America, but
I don't insist on them. He was the one who said like, oh, we should try them, and I was like, okay, get the little ones. It was just like 5 or 6, and to share with his girlfriend. So I was like, okay, do it, and he liked them. So good. Okay. And then you can have, for example, for a dessert, you can have a creme brulee.
Ooh.
I really recommend those kind of. Oh, it's Le Petit Bouillon Faramon.
Oh,
I said. I said those words were in the name.
Luckily, you remembered it because honestly, I probably would not have.
I can then write it down so you can.
That's perfect. No, that is perfect.
Yes.
I know that you were out last night celebrating a birthday.
Yes.
Do you have any bar recommendations, somewhere fun that people can dance or grab a drink, pretty view or cool bar? Anything?
Okay, so what I always recommend. Well, my favorite thing to do, which doesn't involve a bar, is just like go picnic. So go to a supermarket, buy wine and cheese and grapes and bread, and go anywhere by the Seine. You can sit down and it's going to be amazing.
There's also really good cafes and stuff by the Seine.
There's a lot of cafes. And last night, actually, we went to this place. It's called Mont Pelican. So it's like a pelican thing. And it's one of those that it's a boat that it's parked there. So there's places inside the boat and outside. We were outside, so by the verge. So right now they took a lot of chairs and tables. So you're outside. They had Latino music, so you can listen. And the food is good. And that's this place where we went last night. There's a lot of places like that. Also, anywhere in the city. We were next to the islands, so you have the view of the islands. You don't have the view of the Eiffel Towers, but if you go a little bit closer to the Eiffel Tower, you can do the same with the Eiffel Tower. And then we went to this place called La Bellevilloise.
Okay.
Which is a place that it's in the neighborhood Belleville, which is also like I think everyone knows the name Belleville. And
if you don't, you know it now.
And if you don't, you know it now. Yes, and it was Latino music too, because I'm too picky, you know. There's a lot of people can find amazing parties here, but they're all gonna be techno, electro, you know, like I don't like that.
You like what you like. You like what you like.
So for me, actually, nightlife in Paris is not outstanding. Some other people's gonna find it like that. I don't, but we have a couple places where we know we can find good dancing, because that's what we like. We just like, and my husband, he's from Cali, which is like the salsa city in Colombia. So if there's no salsa,
he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to partake.
Exactly.
So the last few nights Friday night, I went to Matignon. Okay, I apologize in advance to everyone here who either speaks French or is offended by how I say something. I do not speak French. I never taken the language in school. I took Spanish. So I apologize in advance for butchering the beautiful language that is French. That being said, Friday night I went to this place called Matignon, and it was a party. My type of party.
Okay.
Like when I say people dancing on tables, like spinning a napkin around, it was so fun. It was a restaurant that has a club downstairs, but also the restaurant part has a DJ, turns into like a fun dance at your table, around your table, mingle a little. And the food was surprisingly really good. We had, I think, chicken spring rolls. We had, what else did we have that was really good? We had chicken spring rolls. We had pizza, which was not that great. We had amazing chicken, steak. And there was something else there that was really good that I don't remember what it was, but it will come to me. Either way, the food was delicious. And we had some ice cream for dessert. The next day, we went to La Avenue, which I've spoken about on the podcast before. One of my favorite restaurants. I had to come when I was in Paris. It was my first time going for lunch. And it has the same menu for lunch or dinner, but their mushroom pasta, it was like mushroom rigatoni, was incredible. My friend, we all got pasta. It was delicious. I usually love their lobster frites there. They also have steak frites. Their lobster pasta is delicious. Honestly, the menu is incredible. They also have spring rolls and amazing tuna tartare. Then last night I was on my own. So my friend and her boyfriend were here for like a night with me. And last night I went to Ferdy. It's walking distance from this hotel. I do have a story to tell because last night I was a mess. I was shopping during the day. When I say shopping, I was walking all around the city, trying to see the sights, running in and out of stores, trying to make the most of my time here. So I rushed to get ready. I was a few minutes late for my reservation. And after I had a great meal, they made me get the mac and cheese. First of all, after having pasta for lunch, they made me get mac and cheese for dinner. It was incredible. Okay, it was absolutely amazing. I went with the recommendation from the waiter, and it was so good. It's a really small restaurant, but I'm getting ready to pay, and I don't have my wallet in my bag. And now I'm starting to sweat. When I say I'm sweating, I'm like, oh my God, I'm mortified. Like, I'm here alone, eating alone. Like, it's not like my friend could just be like, I'll take it, or like, I'll wait, like whatever it was. And they were charging my phone because my phone was dying after my full day of activities. And I turned to my waiter. I'm like, I am so sorry. I'm staying at the Roch Hotel. I promise you I will come back. I just need to go get my wallet. My entire wallet is in my room. And I go, you can keep my phone as collateral, but like I have to go. So then I'm stuck now trying to find my way back to my hotel without a phone, without maps. And luckily I have an impeccable sense of direction that I managed to get here. I also didn't have my room key because that was also in my room. And so at some point I was just sweating, but I had a really cute outfit on and I'm like, you can't sweat. It's okay. It happens to the best of us. And I wasn't sure if they thought I was like never coming back or not, but I was like, I'm here, I'm back, like, I'll have my phone now, like, please, like, I'm so sorry. But they were really sweet, really understanding, and it's a really interesting menu. They're known for their burger, but it's very, there's a lot of Spanish dishes on there, so it was bizarre all around. But it was great.
But it was good. That's the important thing. If it's
so that was I was a hot mess last night. That's what I was trying to get at from that long story. Running through the streets of Paris, trying to find my wallet. Oh, I went to, have you gone out? Well, it's probably not your music, but the Saint Germain area, those bars there.
Yes.
I went to, I don't know if it's Tiger or said some other way, but it's Tiger. And it's a gin bar.
It's probably, I think everyone would call it Tiger. Probably.
I don't know.
But
I called it Tiger. So.
I would.
Okay, Tiger. But it's among an entire street of all these bars. And there were people drinking outside, going in and out of the bars, fun music playing. There was like a tiki bar on the corner. There was another, like, they were all packed, the bars, and very young crowd. So if you're coming here and you want to go out, I would say, like, it's a good place to start. And, like, definitely if you have nowhere to go or no idea of where to go, it was packed.
I think the whole Saint-Germain area, it's a nice place to find a good party, I think.
And they're open fairly late because I feel like a lot of the cafes and stuff, when I was walking around by the Eiffel Tower, they were starting to close around 12, and this area and these bars and the cafes there were open till at least 2 a.m.
Oh, and the place we were to last night, it's open till 6.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It was 3 a.m. and I was already dying. And I was like, can we go home? Can we go home? And my husband is like, but I'm the host. I'm the one who brought everyone here. We have to wait until everyone wants to go. And I was like, oh my God.
He was like, we have 3 more hours. Like, let's go.
No, we left at 3:30, 4. But yeah. But I think it's the latest I've been up in a long time.
Worth it though.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was nice. So yeah, if you want to party, like dance a lot and until 6 a.m., that's also a good place to go.
I will also say during the day, like Saint Germain, I had lunch in that area today. I went to Ralph's, which is part of like Ralph Lauren.
Yes.
Ralph's is great wherever you are, whether it's Polo Bar in New York, LA, like it's delicious. They're known for their burger. They have they had a few burger options. They have salads. I had the Santa Fe burger, which had barbecue sauce, coleslaw, cheddar cheese and like these thinly fried onions that I got like a side salad because
good.
Tried to be healthy somewhere in there. Even though the burger was so delicious, it was definitely worth it. And it's just a beautiful restaurant. You're eating outside. There's trees, everything. And it's just gorgeous. And I recommend it if you're coming here, if you want a really nice lunch. Definitely something to splurge on if you are coming.
Yes, definitely. And the whole area after that, you can go walking around, and the buildings and the doors are beautiful in the whole area.
And there's also a lot of shopping in that area. There's a famous department store. I'm going to butcher the name.
You want me to say it?
Yeah, I do.
Bon Marché. Le Bon Marché.
Bon Marché. Really famous department store. There's also a new department store that is actually kind of near my hotel. It's near the Louvre. I'm going to mess up the name once again, so I'm going to let you say it.
La Samaritaine.
That's not how I was going to say it. La Samaritaine. La Samaritaine.
It's more Samaritaine.
I was going to say Samaritan.
No, it's Samaritaine because it's like the ending. It's feminine, so it's N. Oh. It's not An because N is like masculine, and then Samaritaine, if it has the E in the end, yeah, it's feminine.
Samaritaine.
So Samaritaine.
La Samaritaine. But exactly. It's stunning. We both were there within the last 24 hours, I would say. And it's absolutely gorgeous. There was a marching band when I was there.
Oh, really?
I think it was part of like a protest. I'm honestly not sure.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday there were a few. Yes.
Yeah. They were
also filming. Every Saturday.
That's what everyone's saying. Everyone's saying every Saturday there's a protest here.
Every Saturday there's a protest. Don't worry about it. It's been going on for like 3 years. I mean, it was like even like it started 1 or 2 weekends before my wedding. November of 2018. And it hasn't stopped. It started as a protest for something about taxes. Mm-hmm. Then it was something about the gas taxes. Then there was something about something else. Mm-hmm. And now it's about the health pass and the vaccination. And it's just they have a few places where they meet and they walk from one place to the other. So it's not gonna be the whole city in riots. You can have a normal Saturday, just avoid those places. But yeah, it's something that it's just no. Honestly, I don't even know if the government pays attention to them, to be honest.
I'll tell you this. I almost got caught in the protest on Saturday, not knowing. Like, I was just walking around, and I guess there was one that was from the department store, like, to around where the Louvre is, and it just... There were police presence, but they were like just chilling out. They like weren't. Yeah,
they're always like they walk with them.
Yeah,
they're
to
always
make sure
like,
everything's
to make sure everything is okay. But yeah, usually it's just like what bothers everyone is that they block everything for a little while.
Like the traffic, it's annoying.
Yes. So yeah, yesterday I was in a bike and I was actually right here, very close. And I was planning to park somewhere and it was blocked because of the protest. So I had to go somewhere else. But well, it's okay.
It's okay. You can avoid it very easily.
Exactly.
Obviously, go see the Eiffel Tower. Go see
Montmartre.
Yes. Go see, what else? Versailles. If you're here,
yes. If you have enough time, you can go to Versailles.
It's beautiful. Absolutely stunning. But you have to make time for it. Like, you have to have time.
It's a whole day trip.
It's more like if you're here for a week, take a day and go do it. If you're here for 3 days, you're definitely not going to have time.
No.
Like, it's just...
I wouldn't even recommend going inside the Louvre if you're going to be here for 3 days. At least you just go to see the Mona Lisa and a couple more places and spend like a half day and then use the other half day to do other stuff. Because the Louvre also can be like a whole day thing.
It honestly, it's huge. And you can get lost there and it can take a long time. And plus, there's just so much art and history that... You have to kind of do either say like, I'm going to do a section of it or I'm going to go see the outside structure, but I'm not going to go inside.
Which is also very beautiful.
So is beautiful.
You can just, like, unless, I always say to all my friends and everyone who asks me, like, what should I do in Paris? Should I go up the Eiffel Tower? That's a question I always get. Should I go up the Eiffel Tower?
I think if you haven't done it, do it, but you only need to do it once.
Yes, but my answer to that question is always, do you want to go and because you want to say, I put my feet in the Eiffel Tower, I was inside of the Eiffel Tower, or do you want to go out for the view? If you want to go out for the view, just go somewhere else.
Interesting.
If you want to have the experience of I stepped in the Eiffel Tower, then do it and do the 3-hour line and do the
have fun with it.
The lines in the second floor and the third floor for the elevators, and then go up and take the photos and just do the whole experience.
But no,
that's something that
a long time.
Exactly, and that's something that if you want to do it, go ahead. I've been like, I did it the first time when I came as a tourist. I did it, so I cannot say don't. But if you want to do it for the view, there's another place that I recommend, which is called Tour Montparnasse, which is another tower that has. They say it. That's their slogan, and it's not a lie. They have the best view of the city.
Oh wow!
Because they have also, it's like 50 something stars, so it's really high, and you have the view of the city with the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, okay.
So you can take photos because if you're in the Eiffel Tower, if you're inside the Eiffel Tower, you're gonna take photos of the view of the city. You're gonna have photos. You're going to have photos of Paris without the Eiffel Tower.
Totally.
Because you're in it.
Totally. I love that recommendation. I love that.
Go if you want the photos and the view with the Eiffel Tower, go to Tour Montparnasse.
I love it.
That's it.
Honestly, I feel like we kind of have to end on that one because that was like the best advice anyone could ever give. Honestly, that was incredible advice. I really appreciate you doing this with me. I really appreciate you coming onto the podcast. Thank you so much. And it was so nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you so much also for inviting me. It's really fun. I love when I receive this type of invitation. I'm like, oh my God, yes, I love it. I honestly love it.
It makes my day.
So I was very happy that you contacted me for this podcast, and I'm so happy to be here today.
So tell everyone where they can follow you.
Sure. Okay, so you can find me in a lot of places, same name, Diana Perilla Chica, but the one that I use the most is Instagram. Yeah, so that's where you can follow me.
You can follow her. Thank you guys for listening and watching. I'm Carly Konsker, and I will see you guys next time. Stay tuned because you never know where we'll end up next. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe, rate us, and leave a review. And as always, follow us on Instagram at OneInRobesPod. And while you're there, you might as well follow me at Carly Konsker. See you next time.